Hey guys, Moneyman300 back for some more Project Cars videos here, and this time what I wanted to do is talk a little bit about the steering with the controller on Project Cars. And if you've been following the forums and if you've played the game, then you know there is an issue with the controller and there is a patch coming. And Slightly Mad Studios has said that that is a very high priority, and it's, you know, they consider that to be a potential game-breaking issue. And what I'm going to do is show you, a little demonstration on, there's two of the issues I'll talk about. There are other issues, but two of them are what I'm going to talk about here. And the first one is the mapping of the steering and using the full radius, is what I'll call it, of your steering ratio. And that it doesn't use the whole thing. You'll get, and what happens, and I'll show you that in a second, and I probably should have used the camera because I could have showed, but I'll just explain it to you. But what happens is you'll get to full steering lock in the game before you have reached the edge of your controller, and that's with 0 dead zone. So as a matter of fact, it's with any dead zone. I haven't really found the dead zones to do a whole lot except make steering more sluggish when you have them in there. So I like to have it at 0, and you can go check out my controller tuning video. But anyway, here's what I'm talking about here, and it's also real quick. Like, I barely moved the stick there. I mean, that's why you see a lot of these moves. This is just a tiny flick, and when I get to here, so that is at full lock, and I'm not even halfway, maybe halfway, maybe a little over halfway of the stick all the way to the edge. So you can go, I might be able to do it by sound here. So I'm at steering lock, and now I see I still had more to go. Steering lock, and there's the rest of it. So, I'm steering lock, and I still have more to go when I get there. So I'm full steering lock before you get there. That's one of the issues, and that is an exact issue that they said. And I can't remember the verbiage per se that they said that they were going to put on there, but there is a they do have a let me see. Oh, I got it right here. Okay, so which one is it? Xbox One analog stick range corrected to use full extent. So that's one of the things coming up in the patch. And actually, I'll read you guys, what they posted as in the patch. But that's one of the issues there. So I don't notice that. So I don't notice that with the trigger. So here's my brake. Right there is, and I'm about halfway there, and there is full. It gets to full just before I get there. And I do have brake sensitivity turned up quite a bit, so that's probably why. But it's pretty good there. And now throttle, I have a little play left, so I'm all the way full there, and I still have some throttle left. So throttle is almost the same way too, a little bit. But I noticed that in Forza also. The other issue I'm going to show you guys here, and this is the Clio. A little preview here. I got a tuning video coming up. Going to be my first one, and it's going to be on this car. For those of you driving in the Clio Cup Challenge, and I have the obviously you can see all the stuff turned on there. And what I want to show here is the, I'm just kind of driving slowly around the track, is the other issue, and that is if you steer out and try and correct back, it won't steer back. Now there it does, but it's when you're going at a higher speed. And I want to get up here. Basically, you can't correct your steering. Let's get up here around this corner. Steer out of that. What I'll do is see if I can recreate it here. And I'll click back. There. See how that steering is still locked? I have it full left right now. And you can see my steering. I am holding the trigger all the way to the left, and it's actually going further to the right now. So now I let go, and then it just went back. Now it goes to the left. So that's the other bug. That whole time I had not the trigger, but the stick held all the way to the left, and it was still showing it to the right. So that's another bug. And between the two of those, it can be pretty, it can really, and I can't create it here. It only happens at speed. There you can see it slow going back. I mean, you can, yeah, so it just does, like there it is right there. I just went back, and now there it is stuck again. So that is the other bug that can be really annoying if you're trying to correct. Now, if you're not making mistakes, which, like we're all driving around the track perfect, then that bug's not going to affect you, but it's pretty much going to affect everybody else. So those are two of the main bugs. Oh, my car's, well, I'm backing into the garage here. Let's hit the brakes there. There you go. There's a couple other things, like the haptic feedback does not work on the triggers quite right, and they're going to be fixing that as well. So let's go over those. So issues where cars would garage into closed garages in Zolder. I don't know what that one is, but they're going to fix that. Console TT is now set to 11 a.m. to patch the PC. I don't know if that's really a big deal. Re-enabled saving of community ghosts, so you'll be able to save other people's ghost gameplays to be able to come back and look at them later. Re-enabled, and I just read that one. Added the ABS brake rumble to the triggers, so that's one of those that I mentioned, that the rumbles to the triggers aren't working quite properly. Use absolute certain acceleration values for blending and updating steering movements to prevent negative direction. So that's what I just showed you. You get a negative movement in that it's steering the wrong direction, and it was steering right even though that I had the stick held left. And then Xbox One trigger rumble scaled along with FFB rumble, force feedback rumble. So again, that's more the haptic feedback not working right in the triggers that they're going to fix. And one I mentioned earlier, Xbox One analog stick range corrected to use the full extent. I think that's going to help a lot. That's really going to help smooth the steering out. It won't be near as jerky if you get the, because right now we're only using about 60% of the range. So once you get to 60%, you're full lock, and it just makes everything kind of real jerky. And then you got to go and, you know, everybody's playing around with their settings and things like that. So I think that's really going to help if they do that. The driver can no longer be switched in a multiplayer races and time trials. I haven't ran into that. I haven't really played much multiplayer, only a couple of races. And fixed for null pointer protection when accessing proximity detector GUI. There's a mouthful in that one, and I have no idea what that is. So anyway, I want to get that out there just to give you guys an explanation of the issues that they're having out there. It's good to understand it, because then maybe it can help you apply that to some of the settings and some of the things you're doing. So just want to get that information out there. The patch should be coming sometime. They said they recreated it and fixed it internally, and it's off for testing. So it usually takes a few days to get through the testing. So, you know, my guess would be early next week. Probably is probably our best bet. So until then, you can use the controller settings I have up. They seem to work pretty well. I'm using them. I use them in the GT. I'm also using them here on the Clio Cup car, and seem to work pretty well here too. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Later.